I am very happy to say that I finally own a Finalmouse ULX. The ULX has quickly become one of my go-to mice in my rotation, and overall I'm quite happy with it, even with its flaws. I purchased this unit from MWave in Australia at retail price, but it is still a batch 1 unit, so my unit is without the improved engineering and also still has a sticker on the bottom, which now has become a mini carpet. My favorite style of shape has always been the FK2 style, and I have been a long-time user of the Viper V2 Pro. However, that shape has always been a bit too wide and a little bit uncomfortable for me in long sessions, and I always thought that I could play a little bit better if it was a bit closer to an FK2 instead of an FK1. But here in the Finalmouse ULX, I do see a worthy successor to the FK2. The dimensions of this mouse is quite similar to the FK2, although this mouse is a bit shorter in length. I do wish that it was a little bit longer because I do still play with a claw grip and don't fingertip this mouse. But apart from that, I am very happy with the shape. The structural integrity of the mouse was about what I had expected. In use, it is fine, but if you do purposefully put pressure on a couple points on the mouse, yes, they do flex a bit. I'm not very concerned about regular use, but I would lean towards trying not to be rough with this mouse. In-game, the ULX felt natural to me straight away. I did not have trouble adjusting to the lightweight and shape of the mouse, and I didn't really have to change my sense either. To my surprise, I really enjoyed the arm-on switches in this mouse. They were very light without being too mushy, and they were probably my favorite clicks out of the mice I have on hand. However, there was a little bit of wobbling on the clicks, just like the Viper V2 Pro has, but I did get used to that quite quickly. But that was one thing that I did notice. The holes didn't really bother me either. If anything, they helped me grip the mouse a little bit better, as the coating on the carbon composite material isn't really anything special. I guess the grips were a pre-order only inclusion, as mine didn't come with them, but I really wish they did. I would have used them straight away. Another thing was that the LOD on the mouse is actually weirdly high. It really reminds me of using a Viper Mini when that was a really popular mouse. This feels exactly the same. It is just a tad too high, and it did take some time to get used to. Another minor gripe I have with the mouse is the scroll wheel. The scroll wheel has a sort of uncoated plastic feel to it, and I just wish it was a little bit rubberized because they didn't use the lightest encoder, and when my hands get a little bit sweaty, it made using the scroll a little bit harder. The grooves on the mouse didn't really bother me. I don't have much to say there. But as you can see, a lot of these gripes are sort of minor and not really deal breakers for me. Using the mouse is really incredible. The extremely low inertia you get with this lightweight of a mouse is pretty amazing. It feels like you can really just like flick and change directions when you're moving the mouse so easily. That, and I do really appreciate the software experience of the mouse. Hands down the best. No hassle in-browser experience, just like Wooting's keyboards. Now, one thing I do gotta mention though, it has been a whole year since the mouse has come out and they still do not have 8K. I'm never gonna use it, but they did promise it, and it has been a year, so that is something to note. The included cable is also kind of shit. It's really stiff, and the dongle never really wants to lie flat on my desk. Even still, all things considered, I still think this is a great mouse, and I foresee it being in my main rotation for quite a bit longer.